Hi, this is Rick, and I'm interviewing Oliver Rüsing. Did I say your last name right?
Yeah, it's the R is an R, but
Oh, I
that's
can't do
very
that.
German. But
Yeah.
Rüsing, it's Rüsing, but Rüsing is very, very close. So it's great.
I'm half German, but I can't do that, and I can't do the umlauts either. You got the umlauts, right?
Yeah,
Under
like
Rüsing, something like that. Yeah. I lose my tongue next time.
the
I do
Germans
that.
have the same problem with the TH. So
Oh, is that right?
It's absolutely okay. Yeah,
That's
there's
funny.
so many Germans who pronounce the TH as like a D or an S.
Oh, okay.
This is Oliver Rüsing from. That's very German. Okay.
You guys played what, the second or third slot today? Second slot. I think,
Second slot. Yeah.
at Summer's End. And do you say this is your first time?
Yeah,
Over?
it's the
Wow.
first time at Summer's End. It's the first time in the UK, and it's the first gig in the UK. We'll do 2 more gigs on this small tour,
Nice.
but this is the first gig ever in the UK. And we didn't know what to expect from the UK audience, from
Right.
the fans here. But I know the new album and Hall of Fame sold very well in the UK, but it was fantastic.
Yeah.
People are so warm-hearted and such a positive atmosphere. Wonderful.
We were talking before about how you were marveling about how everybody comes from near and far. You know,
Yeah, it's really impressive. You know, the people from Australia, the people from all over the world coming to this festival just to see these more or less small bands.
Yeah.
And it's a very, very passionate behavior. You know, people really love this kind of music, and they put so much effort in coming here. I think I told you before, it feels like family.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you usually play in Germany or around there? Or?
Yeah, but it's even in Germany, it's not easy for a prog band to get gigs.
Yeah.
Of course, it's easier when you have a fan base in a certain country, but I cannot say that we have a bigger fan base in Germany, because it's one of the aspects of the internet that you can sell your CDs everywhere.
Right.
And I'm lucky to say that Karibow CDs sell pretty well,
Yeah.
referring to the prog scene and the possibilities today.
Sure.
But they sell all over the world, and it's not easy to fill a hall.
Yeah.
Close to the place where you live, because
Right.
it's not where your fans live. Maybe they live in the US, maybe they live in the UK. So it's wonderful to visit those places in the world where all those fans gather
Sure.
to get a chance to see you play live.
Yeah. Do you do other things? You have another job, or do you?
Not right now. I was working as a teacher, as an art teacher at school, but I quit the job for a few years
Right.
to concentrate on making music, because at the moment I'm making enough money to more or less
Yeah.
live from it. Yeah.
And that's rare.
It's very rare. You know, I'm in a very special situation. I have a live band, but I'm producing most of the stuff myself.
Okay.
And I'm playing all the instruments except the people who contribute to the album.
Right.
So it's financially affordable. And I'm also lucky to say that within 3 years, it was possible for me to say, when I produce an album, the break-even point will be maybe 3 weeks after.
Oh, that's
Because
great.
there are so many albums will be sold
Right.
in pre-order, then I can afford it.
Oh, that's great. So you're even drumming too, on the records?
That's my main instrument.
Is that
and
right?
I still, when I'm talking
Wow.
to my live drummer Gerald, he always, when he listens to something
Mm-hmm.
new I've written, he always tells me that that's a drummer's tune.
Okay.
I mean, I like hook lines, as you know. I like melodic music.
Sure.
But I still feel like a drummer, and everything in Karibow is arranged with a rhythmic approach, and all the details in the music, even the singing. My singing is more like an instrument.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was working with guys like Michael Sedler,
Right.
I would say real singers, their voice was somehow a little bit on top of my music.
Okay.
I liked it very much because the approach is a bit different. When I'm singing myself, I always integrate my music like another melodic instrument.
Are you tracking your vocals? Do you do harmonies too and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. Yeah, because most people that play all the stuff on their record, the drums are the last ones they learn. You know, so that's interesting. You're a drummer by trade.
Yeah. My first instrument actually was the guitar, but,
Okay.
but I took guitar lessons, and I absolutely didn't like this classical approach to guitar, and it felt somehow boring.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a self-taught person in a way. I always did try and error.
Right.
And I found my own ways, which are very, very special. Sometimes hard to copy, maybe not even good,
Yeah.
and on a technical level, but hard to copy because I do it all my way.
Right.
It's very similar to what Steven Wilson did years ago.
Sure.
But for me, it was necessary to work that way because when Karibow started as a six-piece band, I ended up about 3 or 4 years later. I ended up as a one-piece band.
Okay.
So I needed to play all the instruments myself because I wanted to continue. I was just too passionate with my music, and that's when I started recording all the stuff myself. And when I'm in the studio, I'm changing instruments all the time.
Okay.
That's very rare, I know, because I was talking to Marek, who's our keyboardist now, is a guest keyboardist, and he says that when they, for example, work with Toxic Smile, everybody plays his part, and it grows very slowly because this is the drummer, and the bass player plays his part, and it can take a few weeks. And the last thing I do is the vocals,
right?
Which is really weird for me because when I have an idea, I just switch the instrument, walk over to the microphone, and record my vocals.
Right.
And sometimes I even use the first take because it's the most passionate, the most expressive one.
Right.
And it may be that I record the guitar and then get back to the vocals and then get to the bass. But on the other hand, I learned that it's a very precious gift to be allowed to work with people. I'm allowed to work with people who are capable of playing their instruments in a way I would never be capable of, like Sean Timms or Marek on saxophone. And so I think over the years I started to communicate more again.
Right.
And I think that's a good thing. It may even be that one of the next Karibow albums is a band album, which would be nice.
Yeah.
But I think it takes some time for me to open up.
Yeah, and you got to get everybody together and all that.
Yeah.
How long ago was that when you started?
The Karibow project?
Yeah.
Or myself?
The Karibow. Yeah.
It was in 1996, 1997. It's the 20th anniversary of Karibow this year.
Oh, wow.
I mean, nobody knows that because nobody can remember because I stayed away from the scene for 13 years.
Wow. Okay.
So when I tell the people there are more than, I think 12 or 13 albums, which are not available right now. There's such a demand. People ask me, why don't you just re-release it? And of course I want to adapt to the quality of the new albums and to remaster everything.
The old one, yeah.
But people are sometimes surprised about the history because I think it's crazy to stay alone from the public so long.
Maybe Steven Wilson will remaster them for you. Everything else.
He would do that. Yeah, I mean, I like to get back to the things I did about 10 years ago and just rediscover them. And maybe add something, but we'll always try to keep the old character.
Yeah. So you have a dozen records out? Did you say?
Including the new ones?
Yeah.
Including the new one is 18.
18?
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. That's
and it's only four of them available right now.
Right. I always ask people about the writing process, but I don't have to ask you because you write everything yourself. I'm always interested in how it works with the other band members and how they get into it and everything. But
and it's always a complicated process. And with most bands, it has a lot to do with joy, but also a lot of conflict. Because creative people, most of the time they are 2 or 3 or 1 or 2 in one band.
That's right.
They
do most of this stuff.
Sometimes they collide. I think it's just it's a natural thing. But for me, I told you it was a necessity to work alone.
Sure.
Maybe it would be different if I would have continued working in a band with 6 members. I had always been the, I would say, creative core of the whole thing. But it's completely different when you do everything on your own. Now it's a good thing to learn from others.
Yeah. Where do we find Karibow? Karibow.com, I guess? Yeah.
Karibow.de in German, Karibow.com, it's international. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And you can find everything that's available in there, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, we have a web shop, but you also find it everywhere else on the internet. You even find it on the streaming. Yeah. It's a complicated thing with streaming. Some Karibow albums are available for streaming, some are not. I'm getting used to it. Let's put it like this. You can't avoid it.
Yeah. Do what you can with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
How often do you play out?
Depends. We had a lot of gigs this year. We're trying to get to the bigger festivals in Europe next year. It would be great to get to Rostfest, for example, one of the next years.
Yeah.
We're trying to organize things. That's something that's happening in the German scene right now. We're trying to get gigs organized together with 2 or 3 fellow bands, so we can minimize the risk.
Yeah, so every band I talk to likes to do that. You know, try to maybe get some kind of thing going on. You guys would be great at Rosfest too. You guys would
Thank
go
you
over
very
great
much.
there. And it's a nice hall and everything. And
Yeah.
I think they really like you there. I know you got to run. Anything else you want to say about the project or the band or anything? Or
I'm very, very grateful that I'm allowed to do what I like.
right. Yeah, that's Doug Pinnick of King's X says that. You know, it's terrible to have a man do what he doesn't want to do.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
One thing I really want to add is that I'm even more grateful for people who support it. Because I couldn't do it if there wasn't anybody
Right.
who supports it. These are the people who are even more important, because you're maybe the creative one, but you depend on the ones who make it possible for you to.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
So thank
Depends
you.
on everybody. Thanks, Oliver. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
Thanks.